Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here, and it is day 7, the final day of Batman Week. And I'm going to end this just like how I ended Spider-Man Week, with a video about my thoughts on the new Batman movie, The Dark Knight Rises, that's coming out within a few hours, because I'm filming this on Thursday night. Yeah, I'm not going to the midnight premiere for this one. I mean, I was able to do it for Spider-Man. Unfortunately, I couldn't do it for this one, and I hate myself for doing it. Hell, I'm not even seeing the movie till Saturday because I'm going with some friends, and I really didn't want to see the movie before them and spoil it. And it's guys I hardly see, so I just figured, what the hell, I'll see it with them. So I'm probably gonna spend the next 24 hours after this just avoiding the internet altogether, just to avoid spoilers. But my thoughts on the movie are pretty much, three factions. First of all, I wouldn't say just three. First of all, the franchise. This is the First of all, the conclusion to the This is pretty much the conclusion to the Nolan trilogy. Batman Begins was a great start, a definite renewal for the Batman franchise in terms of film. The Dark Knight raised the bar on all superhero movies. It was a very well written story, brilliantly acted. Now this is pretty much the grand finale. This is how they have to end it. All right, because looking back, because the way this movie works is they have to make the other two movies seem worth it. You have to watch Batman Begins and build it up. Oh man, Batman Begins is good. Oh, Dark Knight, definitely good middle point, and boom, the finale. That's how you have to end it on a very high, I would say not a very high note, but just on a high note that gets people going, wow, all three movies were brilliant. This is a really great film trilogy. Not just, okay, the first two were amazing, the third one was kind of weak. You don't want them to say that. So there is a lot of pressure. I would say a lot of pressure with this movie. It is, all final movies get a lot of pressure, like Harry Potter, and Superman 4, Star Wars Episode 6. Some of them worked out, some didn't, but I trust Christopher Nolan, I trust Christian Bale. Those guys have definitely pulled off two amazing films, so I think they could probably pull off a third. Alright, now for the movie itself. It takes The Dark Knight First of all, the setting. The Dark Knight Rises takes place 8 years after The Dark Knight. That was probably the one beef that I have with this, is that the time frame, that it's 8 years after The Dark Knight. I don't know. It feels like 8 years is kind of hard believable, because it looks like, because when you see the actors, they haven't aged much. For Gary Oldman, they could have at least given him some gray hairs. But they ended it. They wanted time to pass between Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises, but they could have. But 8 years just seems a little too much. They could have gone maybe 2 years, 3 years, or 5 years tops. But 8 just seems a little much. And apparently during that time, Gotham's been enjoying their peace. It's been a time of peace for Gotham City, I think. I think crime went way down after what happened with the Joker and Dent, although Batman did take the blame for the murders Harvey Dent committed as Two-Face, so that Harvey's reputation would still remain intact. And as a result, though, Bruce Wayne was forced to give up being Batman, because now he was a fugitive, and Gordon couldn't contact him anymore. We saw that final shot, and one of the final shots in Dark Knight was Gordon destroying the bat signal. But now it's 8 years, and apparently, from the trailers, apparently the mayor was going to get rid of Commissioner Gordon now, because Gotham's been enjoying their time of peace. It doesn't feel like Gordon's needed anymore. But right when Gotham's enjoying this peacetime, we get our new villain of the film, Bane. Okay, when it was announced, when they were pretty much people going through the main villain of this movie. Several theories were always spouting out on the internet, like, Penguin or Riddler. I thought, no, I think Bane is a great villain for this movie. Especially in Christopher Nolan's mind, because for his first movie, he did use Ra's al Ghul, which I thought was a smart move on his part, because Ra's is not a well-known villain outside of Batman comics. A few people might recognize the name from like the cartoon, but that was years ago. So it is a little difficult to. So it is a little difficult for people to understand how big of a threat Ra's al Ghul is. And Bane, though, for this movie, I think it works because Bane does kind of give that sense of realism. The problem with someone like the Riddler is people are going to associate him with, and this is probably also, I think, with the Penguin too, is they're going to associate those two villains with the Adam West series. They're just going to think they're too wacky or goofy, and I agree. Those two were just good for about that era, but, Riddler, he's still kind of a threat. In recent comics, they did say he discovered Batman's secret identity. Penguin, not so much. Penguin's just useless. They should kill him off for good. But Bane, back to Bane. I'm very happy they're using Bane. He was definitely my favorite villain. Before, when I saw the animated series, he was just this big guy that was super strong. That's all I thought of him. But then when I read the comics and I discovered that Bane broke Batman's spine in his very first storyline, I was like, whoa, this dude's badass. Though apparently they did use Bane in Batman and Robin, it was just really stupid the way Joel Schumacher used Bane in Batman and Robin, because it was a complete, utter disregard for the character. All Joel Schumacher saw was big, strong guy, perfect henchman. Bane was a brilliant strategist, okay? He didn't just charge in, going in, just run up to Wayne Manor, bust the door down, and say, "I shall break you, Batman!" No. He arrived in Gotham City. He pretty much sort of stalked Batman for months, trying to study him, learn his tactics. He figured out Batman's secret identity, then destroyed Arkham City. Then pretty much destroyed the walls in Arkham Asylum, allowing a bunch of Batman's rogues to escape, and forcing Batman to pretty much recapture everyone, which took about like 3 months. And by the time Batman finishes all this, he's pretty much exhausted. And so that's the moment Bane decides to strike. So he had pretty much all Batman's rogues gallery do the heavy lifting for him, so he could just come in and go in for the kill. I don't know if that's low or brilliant, but anyways, Bane pretty much fights Batman. Bane pretty much arrives at Wayne Manor, fights Batman in the Batcave, and boom, breaks his spine and renders Batman temporarily paralyzed. Although the way they designed Bane, it does seem like they are staying true to that part of Bane with the whole brilliant strategy mind, and also the way he sort of wants to control. The way Bane the main motivation Bane went to Gotham City in the first place was to take over. He knew that there was this city that. It was a city. Gotham City is basically a city where fear rules its citizens. So Bane thought, I could take over this place. And he would do so by breaking the biggest symbol of fear that spread throughout Gotham City, the Batman. But, I wouldn't say that it's... So they brought back the brilliant strategy part of Bane. I keep saying that. I gotta stop saying that. Anyway, the difference between Christopher Nolan's Bane and the comics Bane is that, well, for one thing, he's not like 7 feet tall on supervillains on the Venom formula, aka supervillain steroids. Although after the events of Nightfall, Bane kicked the Venom habit of using Venom. Although he is seen numerous times in all the Batman cartoons with the Venom injector still attached to him. and also they got rid of the luchador mask. I think that was probably a smart move on Christopher Nolan's part. I mean, most people are like, "Oh, gee, we're barely gonna." I mean, at first it seemed like it was hard to understand Tom Hardy through that respirator type of mask, but I think the explanation behind that is that I think Bane has trouble has like some sort of lung disease or something, like he can't breathe right. I don't know the full details on that. They'll probably explain in the movie, but Bane does not. But it is a smart move that Christopher Nolan had to ditch the luchador mask, because I don't think people would have taken Bane seriously as a villain if they saw him in that movie with the luchador mask. I don't think it would help him. So, I think Bane is actually a good challenge for Batman, especially for a third movie where they want to end it, because he actually did succeed in not only breaking Batman's back, but also his spirit. And to be fair, though, at this point in the franchise, though, Bruce, I believe, is still very depressed about how he can no longer fight crime as Batman. I mean, that was pretty much the one thing he had planned for what he was going to do for the rest of his life. Try to fight corruption in Gotham City by going beyond the law and doing it his own way. But that part's gone, so now he's kind of left, like, at crossroads, like, still, what the hell am I going to do? And also, he's still filled with guilt with what happened to Harvey and what happened to Rachel. And everything with the Joker, really. So it is kind of like, and pretty much when Bane starts attacking Gotham City, I believe that's when Bruce decides he's going to become Batman again. Although, I think the first fight, when Bruce first fights Bane, and I think we see a couple of clips of it. I think the first fight will be when we see Bane like walking away with the broken Batman cowl. I think that's pretty much going to be like their first fight in comics, with Bane defeating Batman. And I think Bruce is still going to be very depressed. At first, he's going to be like very depressed, but then after that fight, he'll pretty much be at his lowest point, and he'll realize that, screw it, I gotta get back in the game. Just get back in the... Just like he'll try to get back to the point he was at either the end of Begins or at the start of Dark Knight, and become the full Batman again, so to speak. It is kind of like It is kind of like the storyline of The Dark Knight Returns, where we have an older Bruce Wayne who's retired from Batman, who's retired from crime fighting, but then suddenly he's just decides, I need to be Batman again for my sake, and becomes Batman again. That's how it is, and I think that's going to be the main thing. It's going to be, and that's another thing I remembered from Dark Knight, was that Bruce kept saying to himself, he told Rachel that, thanks to Harvey Dent, Batman's no longer going to be needed, I can stop this. It seemed like Bruce was clinging to some little hope that Batman wouldn't be needed in Gotham. Unfortunately, that's not the case, because now I think he's going to realize that he needs Batman, not that Gotham will always need Batman. It will always need its protector to watch over it and take out all the evil. Now, moving on to my next, the other new character in this movie, Catwoman. Now, I'll be fair. Although I like Anne Hathaway as an actress, and she is very beautiful, she was not really my first choice of Catwoman. I mean, if someone had asked me who would I pick to cast in the role of Catwoman, I would probably go with Eliza Dushku, because she's got like this typical bad girl vibe to her. But Anne Hathaway, though, in the trailers and stuff I've seen her, she really makes it work. I mean, not just as kind of like a bad girl type deal, but just sort of a, like one of those women in those old mystery films that's like she knows something that important, but she's not telling you exactly, and you have to figure it out for yourself type of deals. And plus, that scene where she and Bruce Wayne are at that party and they're dancing together, that kind of reminded me of Batman Returns, when with the scene between Michael Keaton and Michelle Pfeiffer. And plus, Catwoman apparently is... I think she does have some sort of relationship to Bane. I mean, not like a relationship, but just some sort of connection with Bane, because it seems like she's running from Bane. The reason she came to Gotham was to warn Batman and tell him, he has to fight Bane and save the day and stuff. And the reason another thing, back to the Bane argument, the reason I think Bane is going to go after Bruce Wayne is because he knows that will be the only obstacle he has in conquering Gotham City. That's it. But back to Catwoman. Where was I again? Let's think here. Selina Kyle. Yeah. So anyways, it seems like Catwoman does sort of come to Batman for help against Bane, and later she apparently becomes like, Batman's partner in all this, like his second in command, his number two and stuff. And I think when Grant Morrison started Batman Incorporated, Catwoman came along with Bruce when he went to recruit members as sort of his number two. So that's pretty interesting. I mean, if you're not going to use Robin as Batman's partner in the movie, then I guess Catwoman is your second choice, because they do have a very interesting relationship. And I'm not so sure about the screen. I don't think there's been much on-screen time. I haven't seen too many scenes of Christian Bale and Anne Hathaway together that much. But, it's not like Amazing Spider-Man when I would see the trailers and sort of get the chemistry between Emma Stone and Andrew Garfield in this case. I'll have to actually see the movie. But still, I like their I like Anne Hathaway. She definitely does make the role her own in this new Batman movie. And as far as the whole Catwoman look goes with, like, the ears, I think those are supposed to be, like, her goggles or something. I think they explain it better in the movie. Again, I haven't seen it yet. I'm just giving, like, my 2 cents about it before I, go in. And, okay, back to the hype issue. We all know Begins was awesome. We all knew The Dark Knight was awesome. But we can't go in with this expectation like, this is going to be the world's greatest movie. No, we can't go into that. Because if you raise the bar too high, then it's not going to reach high. Then there's no way the movie will actually get to the level you expect it to be. So I would say just go in and try to enjoy it. I mean, don't see it just because you think it will be like the best new movie ever. Just go in, think, okay, I hope they conclude this on a good note. Alright? Don't expect, like, the best movie ever. Just go in and just expect a good movie, not the best movie ever. Okay? That's all I'm saying. And again, no studio wants to go out there and make a bad movie. And Nolan has so far shown a lot of respect for the comic books in his films, so he's definitely the guy to end this on a high note. And I'm pretty sure it's not going to end leaving the audience guessing whether or not it's a dream or reality. Oh yeah, speaking of Inception, he does use a lot. I think that people are going to poke fun of that too. How he is using, how he's using Tom Hardy and Joseph Gordon-Levitt from Inception in this movie. That's all. I cannot wait for The Dark Knight Rises. It's going to be, I still say, it's going to be a great movie. Thank you for watching. Thank you if you've watched all 7 Batman Week videos. Thank you very much for watching, sticking through the entire thing. I appreciate all the views and new subscribers gained by this. Spider-Man 1991 saying, see you later.